Okay guys, welcome back. Squeaky Terrace. Right, I'm going to attempt to take these drives out, and really all I've got here is a hacksaw blade, and it's going to be a bit of a trial and error really, but I'm going to go in here and start to cut. All I want to do is cut through a bit. It's going to make a mess. I'm coming through at the bottom now. I can feel the blade. Hacksaw blade will be my tool of choice, guys. It's going to be a bit of a slow one, so I won't film all of it. I mean, this is going to be redesigned and have gasket bolts and some proper captures for the bolts on the jet drives. Plus the bulkhead, back bulkhead isn't quite straight up and down to the base, so I had to enlarge the bottom to get them to fit also. So I'm going to do that differently, and we're just going to go from there, guys. So I'm going to keep cutting, and I'll be back once I'm getting a bit further on. I've whittled my way through here, taking me time because I want to get it out in a nice way. And then I'm just coming down this awkward side here. It's going to take another minute. I mean, I've been going a while. I got through the bottom. Slow and steady wins the race for sure. And now, after about 2.5 years, 3 years nearly, I don't know, it's been a while, we're pulling them out. See all that silicone to put round. There it is. See, there's me insert I put in for 50 mil. I've left the old ring piece behind here, little ring piece. I'll get in there and I'll be scraping all that, clean it up, take these tubes out. I just want a nice sort of place to be able to scrape and clean, make everything look spiffing. But there it is, one out, right? And I'll get on with the next one, and I'll be back when I've got 2 holes. I've taken out the 2 drives now. Took me a while. I've cleaned it up. I've taken away these side pieces that where the insert went in was, you know, smaller. So I've got rid of those. So they're going to be carbon now straight along, and that's basically for the new drive base. Certainly before, once this upper section was on, you couldn't see the drive. I had to keep taking it off. It was a right malarkey, guys. So anyway, I've been piddling away on the computer. I'm going to flick you over now to show you what I've been doing design-wise on the drives. I've learnt a lot. So if you're new to designing on CAD and you've got a 3D printer, it's really the way to go. Now, eventually you find what you've got to do, and you're popping out some parts for yourself, you know. So that's awesome. So let's go over to the computer and I'll take you briefly through what we've been doing. Stick with me. Be back in a minute. Here we are in Onshape, which is what I use to design anything. Here she is. This is the drive I've been working on. I've done loads of little test prints just to check sizes and this and that, you know, make sure things are going to be good before I waste a load of filament. Some of this is just to see size of the motor, you know. The main parts are here. This is the thickness of the board, this part, so it's not actually part of the design. It's just a reference. And then this basically is the part of the drive, and what I decided to do was incorporate the grille as part of the ramp. It's got a little bit more swoop to it than the last one, you know, a little bit more subtle of a ramp. So hopefully that water can sort of slide up there a bit easier. Done an upper drive cover, never seen one with a cover on, so that clips over that pipe work there, also over the back of the motor mount there. Motor mount's going to be in PETG, so it's a little bit more resistant to heat. It's sort of 80 degree, 90 degrees, whereas PLA, which everything else will be, is sort of 60 degrees. So this rear section is going to be PETG. This also PETG, I don't know what it's called. What is it? It's PETG, isn't it? Yeah. And then the printer's only 22 centimeters, so this, where it ends here, is the height I can print. So I made an add-on with the motor, then incorporated in. That's about it, really, guys. I mean, I spent a long time just piddly diddly here. We'll quickly go into, you know, the prop I redesigned. Made it a slightly smaller hub now at 19. Took this old prop, that was the original one, so it's got a slight less pitch to it, ever so slightly, just to try, and added on you know, a longer rear section. But basically, when you download an already designed part, there's only so much you can do to kind of change it. So I felt like it's best I got my head into how to do a new impeller, and I can always come back in. I can change pitch, I can change sort of whatever I want. That's the props, and then we go quickly to the nozzles. Made it from scratch so I can adjust and change. This is for a 19mm bearing, and then we got the two outlets now, one for the motor, one for the SCs, all returning back through the center bulkhead. So there you go, guys. That's really a quick, I'm not going to spend long in here. I'm going to print these now. I'm going to print everything, and I'll be back with you as soon as they're finished. We'll take a look. All right, see you in a sec. Alrighty, guys. After eons of printing, decades, years, I've got my drives. There they are. A lot went into these little drives here. I'll take you through it quickly. I've got two, obviously, but I'll just use the one as an example. New props, slightly thinner bladed, although one came out exactly how I want, and then when you mirror it, for some reason, get a little bit thicker blades on one. So I've done the sanding. Make sure if you're printing props that you sand them and make them smooth. You know, use some lacquer if you need, or I used a bit of CA glue, black CA glue, and then sanded that down to get rid of any of the ridges. So they're basically as smooth as I can really get them, and you could spend ages, but they're a trial. I've got a little bit of a longer sleeve on the back now, so you know, water can slip past a bit better. There's no real focusing going on here, is there? There's a close-up. There's a close-up of her. They'll do for now. We'll try them out. And then the pièce de résistance is the drive. Oh, hang on, I haven't got the nozzle. Wait a minute. Can't forget about the old nozzles, can we? One's one way, one's the other, mirror of each other, these nozzles. But 19mm bearing now, I've gone slightly smaller bearing. Stainless steel I've ordered, so they hopefully won't rust. We see. Is the light not good? Anyway, then we come to the drive. I've got everything's going to be drilled through the board with some nuts here all the way around, and then we've got a little cap that goes on to cover that with silicone to stop any water coming up. What's nice, rather than the other setup I had, is that this has all now been designed, you know, straight, perfectly with the motor onto the bulkhead, onto the mount. So that's done, two of those, and then I thought, you know, I've never seen a drive with a cover over, just to keep everything looking, you know, in the board when you open the hatch, you know, make it look nice. So I got that. This sort of comes off at the minute. I can slide it off, but it will eventually clip on. At the size of the tube, this rear tube, that clips on there absolutely fantastically, beautifully. So that clips on. I've got my PETG mount. All sort of came out well. They came out so clean, and only 15% infill at the minute. It's lighter. It's pretty solid, I've got to say. And then the general 22mm bearing in the rear with the seals. I'm going to buy some FPM seals, try those, because they're a fluorinated seal, so they might be a bit more slippy. And I've got a little oil hole in the top, so if I get two of them, and then fill this with Teflon oil or something like that, probably give it as much chance as it can to really be kind of nice and spinny. Take away any resistance like I had before. I'm thinking, well, can only help, you know, with the speed. Nozzle fits on, little gap for the bulkhead and the gaskets, which will hopefully squeeze up. And I'm going to put these in first, then I'm going to sort of mark my holes round so I know I'm exact where I want to be. That's pretty nice. It all fits. A little bit of shaving here, you know, a little bit of clean up after the print, and becomes quite nice. And I've got one more thing. Okay, so we've got that, we've got all this going on. And then we've got the grill. My board thickness at the bottom is 7mm. Okay, so I've got that white foam. If you've seen the build series, if you haven't, I'll flick the link up on, you know, a card will come up. You can watch the playlist. I've got about 12 videos of building this board. If you're shaping your own, these drives eventually will end up on Thingiverse. right? I want to try them out. I want to, you know, test everything. If you keep with me, hit those buttons, guys. You know what I mean? So you get notified when I'm doing a video. I'll be testing these first, and I've got a one. This has got an angled bottom to it because my board angles to sort of 2-degree slope. So I made these with an angle, but I've also made the same drive flat, all right, without the angle. But this grill is part of the drive, right? So you've got your grill to stop any mess coming through, but it is also, as that slips in there, becomes part of the ramp of the inside. Okay, so this piece here is part of the ramp itself. What I've done, I've got a nicer transition than the old drives were quite kind of brutal going up into the drive. So all resistance, I feel, you know, with water, I want it sort of slippy slidey in there. There is a locking mechanism here, so this slips in to there. We'll screw down eventually on the front here. We'll get some screws, two little self-tappy screws. I'll drill a couple of little holes first. But that's basically with the grill on. That makes up the rest of the ramp inside, but it's made for a 7mm thickness of board underneath. It locks into the board, it locks into the drive. The same with the flat version of the drive without the angle. So if anybody does want these, eventually when they're on Thingiverse, it will have a little notice. If you're making a board from scratch, make sure your bottom thickness of your board doesn't have to be all carbon or fiberglass thick. You know, if you've got foam like I used, make sure you test the thickness of your bottom. And if it's 7mm or under, just under, then that grill will work because it is part of the ramp. But it's got a lovelier sort of slide to it. Hopefully I can get on the plane even more. We've got my Venturi fins in there. People were commenting, didn't have enough fins and I didn't have enough angle. Now I've made 5 of them fins in there. They've got more angle. They're like a little wing shape. That'll be sucking more from the bottom of the board. But they come out nice also. I think I'll leave it there for this video. I've given you a little look. The next video we'll be putting these in, messing around, getting these right, drilling the holes. And once I've done a bit of this fiberglassing, carboning, it'll be back on the river and we'll be checking them out. So do us a favour, if you like the video, yeah, hit the like button because it helps. And I'll see you on the next one, guys. Keep it raw, keep it real, keep it wriggling.